My name is Rick Romanoff, and I'm a senior mentor with the Teen Aircraft Factory of Minnesota, Inc. We are a 501c3 supported with contribution from the Sarasota Police Department and the Experimental Aircraft Local Chapter 180. This is the second aircraft that has been built from a kit by high school students, and today is the first flight for our students who were participating in the build. I think that the youngsters that have come through the program, we've watched them mature. We have introduced them to career paths that they didn't realize were available to them. I'm proud to say that from our first group, there were 9 students that completed the program with us. Of that 9, 2 have gone into the military, and 7 are in college currently. Of the 7, 5 of them are on scholarships. And this is from a group that was predominantly considered at-risk students. So we know that we've had an impact and touched their lives, which is the whole key to this program.
My name's Owen. I go to school at Palmetto High School. It's kind of a complex project. We've been working on it for just under 2 years now. This is the second airplane we've actually built. I took part in the second one. I kind of got here halfway through, but I've really learned a lot, like through how everything works and really building such a complex machine. And one of the biggest things I did was the landing gear. I installed the landing gear. I did a lot of stuff with that. I worked on the tires and brakes and stuff like that. I did the rudder pedals and all sorts of things. So I got involved with it through the Young Eagles program. They hold a meeting, I believe it's the third Saturday of every month, and they offer free flights, kind of like a discovery flight into aviation. And they were saying how they're building an airplane, and it's a bunch of teenagers in high school that are building an airplane. I was like, well, that's pretty neat. And you know, I got involved through that, and they kind of took me out there and just showed me how everything worked and what they do. It was really cool. It got me hooked right away. I was like, I have to do this. It looks so awesome.
Brad Smith. I'm part of the EAA organization. That a number of the people who belong to that organization were the mentors for building this aircraft. I have been a member local chapter here since 2002, and was past president for a couple of years, a few years back, and have been involved in building this aircraft from the beginning. I have some building experience since I built 2 airplanes of my own and have helped other people work on their airplanes. I'm not a professional mechanic, but I've been involved with the Navy. I was maintenance officer for many, many years in the Navy, so I know how it's supposed to be done. A lot of these children have never had the opportunity to do anything with their hands as far as building anything. Sometimes I make a joke that some of them will arrive, they don't know one end of a screwdriver from the other. So we teach them how to use tools, we teach them how to read the plans, how to plan ahead on what we're going to be doing, and work with the metal, the fiberglass, read the plans, what step comes next, what drills to use. Teach them how to use the tools properly. So it gives them an education in not only how to put things together, but how to do it properly in an organized fashion.
I'm Malcolm Moniz.
Okay, Malcolm. So tell me, how did you get involved with Young Aviation? Was it Young Eagles?
Yeah, it was kind of like a long story, and I wore this shirt and kind of unwillingly worn it, and it was kind of just fit perfectly. But a few years ago, there was when the B-17 was flying around, and it made it stop over here, and it was parked, and they're giving rides, and saved up a bunch of money just to kind of fly and just one trip around the pattern, I guess. And I was partnered up with Young Eagles. And then when I got out of the plane, my parents were talking with Rick and with Young Eagles, with the aircraft build, and they're saying, hey, you want to build an airplane? And immediately, without even saying thinking of anything else, they just said, oh yeah, heck yeah, I want to fly this. I want to build and fly an airplane. So they were just finishing the first one when I joined up, so I was kind of just sitting there poking things that everyone else has been poking for the past 2 years. But then they started up the second one just that next summer, and I've been with it ever since. So just about last year, I really started getting into flight with my pilot's license, and pretty much ever since I started at flight training the first time around 11, I got really into it, and I can tell you anything you would want to know about like World War II aviation back then, and I was a huge aviation nut. So I've been working with this airplane since the second week because of a scheduling snafu. My mom forgot to tell me that it started the 2 weeks before, so I missed the orientation. But as soon as I figured out what all the parts meant and what a CLECO was, I've pretty much worked on every part of the airplane since the beginning. But after a certain point of you kind of introducing yourself, like get introduced with a topic and you kind of know what you're doing, then they start assigning one of the young builders to a specific area of the build. And one of my first main projects I worked on was the flaperons and the wing section of the plane. But the main project that I'm quite proud of is the engine, because as soon as the engine got here in the big box, and I took it out and worked on it from day one, and I slapped that thing on the airplane, and it's nice to hear it work.
All right, I'm Taylor Fairchild. We've been building this for about 2 years now. To finally see it fly in it and have a chance to fly it, it's the greatest thing ever. Well, one of my friends, he told me about this thing called the Young Eagles program, which is over there near Dolphin Aviation. And basically, these guys, they take up kids like me for free. And it's called the Young Eagles flight. And we just, do a pattern over around there, and it's just, and I've been doing that for so long that they told me about this right here, and I just came here and built this airplane. I wanted to learn how to fly. I really just be around these people, because all of the mentors here, they're all pilots. They have their own planes. I learn a lot from them, like a lot more than I could have ever learned anywhere else, really. And also you get so many different skills that you don't usually get at this age, like riveting and all that stuff is just really amazing. I worked on mostly the general part of it with the rivets and stuff, but what I really worked on was the wiring, mostly the inside of the plane. You see like the control panels and all the wiring that goes into the Garmin systems and stuff. That's the main part that I usually helped on. My original plan was to be a corporate pilot, but if that doesn't work out, I'm probably going to go into aerospace engineering and stuff like this. It's really a really great experience.
My name's Scott Becker. I'm with EAA Chapter 180. We help support the team build. EAA helps pay for the hangar, and we support them financially that way. There's other ways. The team build, they buy the kit, they spend the time building the kit, and then the idea is to sell the airplane and put that money into a third airplane to help the next group of kids. Young Eagles is in '92. They wanted to fly 1 million kids by 2002 and experience kids to aviation. We got a fence around the place. They built mounds around the place because nobody wants to hear the noise at the airport. So we're exposing kids to aviation. I heard through the grapevine that we're in the top 10 in the nation of flying kids as far as numbers. We're doing good that way, and it's just opening their eyes. My friend Chip, that's in charge of Young Eagles, says it's one step. It's one step at a time, and we're pulling back the curtain, letting them see what it's about. I want them to come away with it. What I felt when I had my first airplane ride was like, wow, this is amazing. And they go home and they talk to their friends, and their friends are like, I don't know what you're talking about. Come on, let's go next month. We'll take you for a ride. And it just, stay in school, do good. Start when you're young, and no telling where it'll take you.
My name is Dyllan Morel-Ruiz. Yeah, I just came back from my first flight. It was awesome. I liked it a lot. When I went flying in it, it felt really nice and awesome because, you know, I came from building it after 2 years, and then now it's complete, full, all done, assembled. And I went flying in, and it was a wonderful experience. It was quite bumpy, but I got through it. It was really nice from up there. And just looking at the wings and everything that I connected and riveted, that was really nice. After the takeoff, after like 300 or 400 feet, I started taking control of it. I went all along the shoreline. Yes. No, I've flown in the previous one that they built before this one, and that was actually my first airplane that I flew in through the Young Eagles. I went to Mr. Rick's house, and I was in his office, and I saw all these pictures of airplanes and these group of kids, and I started asking him questions, and I got involved through that. And 2 or 3 weeks later, I joined, and I started building this the second RV-12. I worked in the cockpit. My first big put together project basically was the seats. I put the seats. It took a little bit because I didn't know much, but I got that done. That was really fun. And then, but I mainly worked in the cockpit. I connected and riveted the cone, the tail cone, basically, and I helped out in the landing gear. Yes, I'm very interested in aviation. I would like to be, when I grow up, I would like to be a commercials pilot. And yes, I'm very interested in that. Well, I mean, I already tell my friends and my teachers and stuff, they're all interested. Now that, since we just came back from school, and yeah, I tell them my experiences, and, you know, most of them would like to come and join and fly and be a part of the EAA.
Our current program for building takes us about 2 years. And with that group, just working Saturdays, it's about a 2-year project to build this airplane. We would like the kids to take away from this program the fact that there are horizons that are open to them to do most anything that they want to set their minds to. Whether it's a career in some form of aviation, be it as a mechanic or as a pilot, but also they realize there's careers in air traffic control, airport management, and many other opportunities that are aviation related. But many of them want to become pilots, and most of them will.